Greetings, community. It's Kevin of NCBD and Comics, and I'm here to give you another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads for tomorrow, age 17, 22. Now, I'd like to thank everybody that's been watching this on the regular. You guys have been making this show real fun. This is the only thing I've been doing on the regular on this program, and yeah, it's been cool. Now, strap down because this one is going to be a little lengthy. There is definitely a lot of picks this week, and none of them, in my opinion, are going to be bad reads. Every one of the picks that I'm going to give you right now are my most anticipated reads. Not only that, but I think they're going to be reads that I believe many out there will appreciate. So starting off right now with over at DC, we have Batman, One Bad Day, Riddler. Now they're going to be doing these series of one bad day one shots. Now we're going to start it off right here with Riddler, and then we're going to end up having Joker, Penguin, and at this point, that's all I know for certain. That doesn't mean that there isn't going to be more added down the road, or as I get information and then reporting to you. Moving on from there, we cruise over to the Marvel Universe area as Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 2 has always been being that there's only been one before, but it's been one that is of reputation. Now, this being of no exception, we're going to end up seeing Spider-Gwen again in this issue. Not only that, we also get an introduction of other Spider characters, one of which is Mini Spider and Spider UK. Now, I enjoyed the first issue. I thought it was really fun. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the series along for its setup with the end of Spider-Verse. Don't want to go too far down the road. Wanted to go ahead and speak about what we're talking about now, which is our most anticipated read for tomorrow, Edge of Spider-Verse number 2. Moving on from there, we're going to cruise over to Hulk number 8. Now, this finishes out the Thor/Banner War. In my opinion, has been semi-anticlimactic. I'm hoping this brings up to a decent ending. It's one that I appreciate. That Kate go ahead and brought these two characters that he's writing on both books together for more than just a reason of just having two characters that he's writing about come together. So we'll see. I'm hoping that it does work out as well as I anticipate it does. So that's why it does belong on this list for me. Moving over from Hulk, number 8, we cruise over to Iron Cat, number 3, which we end up seeing that Felicia ends up adopting a new suit. And what I mean by that is her modified suit that Tony is working on is now given to her in this issue, and this is where expectingly so we get the ultimate battle. Now that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a nice heavy cat on cat kind of Iron Bat toll. Never mind. Moving on from Iron Cat number 3, cruise over to Strange number 5. Now we're getting a teaser of a zombie Strange. So that's why this belongs up there on the most anticipated read for me on issue number 5. I not only want to see Strange come back, but I want to see him come back in the wrong way. So we'll see what happens on that. Moving over from Marvel, cruise over to Army of Darkness. Now, I am a huge Army of Darkness fan. I love it in the comics, especially because we get all these different interpretations of our hero. Beyond that, what we see in issue number 2 of Army of Darkness versus Reanimator is we get our protagonist reluctantly to agree that he has to go on yet another adventure to save our planet from evil forces. So Ash, as he agrees to go ahead from his first issue encounter of basically being attacked on all sides in this restaurant and having to blow the thing up with his newfound, well, seems like accomplice in what they're going to end up doing. Hey, how you doing, Christina? And this next adventure is going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to this book, and I'm dying to see what happens because I'm a huge fan of both the Army of Darkness and Reanimator series. So we'll see how that turns out. Moving over from there, we cruise over to Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids by Dynamite. Now, in the first issue, we end up seeing that a new neighbor moves into Garbage Pail Kids on the left, and the which is just awesome, Madballs on the right. And both of them live in their own respective ways, and these new neighbors move in the center. It's just awesome to see what transpires after that first issue to see what it leads into the second. So it's zany fun. There's nothing to the story that's going to go ahead and probably improve your life other than the fact that you're going to be laughing all the way through it by reading this issue. So I highly recommend, if you're not reading it already, if you want some nice light fun, Madballs versus Garbage Pail Kids, you can pick up issue number 1 real easily, and this is issue number 2 coming out tomorrow. Moving over from there, we cruise over to Image at Firepower issue number 23. This story keeps ramping up more and more. And now that the whole planet is relying upon basically this family and their ability to defend us against this impending doom from this dragon, this is rad. Kirkham, keep writing it because I'm loving it. You go. Say Las Cruces, I appreciate you being here. As always. Moving over from Firepower issue number 23, we cruise over to Last Shadow Hawk issue number 1. Now, I have a lot of Shadow Hawk stuff, all the original series, as far as the first issue of number 1, 2, and 3, I think, of that first series. And anyways, what I'm getting at is it's cool to see not only this coming back after 30 years, but I'm curious to see how it's written with a new team. So that's why it's on this most anticipated read for tomorrow. Moving over from Last Shadow Hawk issue number 1, we cruise over to Silver Coin number 13. Now, this is an anthology series that you don't need to be following necessarily. You can go ahead and pick up any issue. And what I'm really loving about it is the only continuity, well, there's 2 continuities with this storyline. Essentially, is one, the coin. The coin is a monkey paw style cursed coin. Whatever you wish for tends not to work out in the way that you want it to. And 2, the art is done by the same original individual that's been doing it since issue number 1. The writers change each issue in this series. So I'm really digging how that's working out, because there is some form of continuity between understanding how this coin relates to the people and the art. You already have an understanding of what's going to transpire. I love that, because no matter what I don't anticipate in the storyline, at least I can fall back on something that's comfort and warm and welcoming. So that's why it's on my little list for my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. Cruising over to True Cult. Now, this is one I've been anticipating for a while by IDW. This is a story by Scott Wilson, and the art is done by Liana Kangas. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. However, this is a story about how it's like a robbery kind of gone wrong, a con not quite right, and basically a satanic panic type group and a Satanist group just turned this into a really nightmare for this individual. It's a cool original story, and I'm really looking forward to getting more understanding of what's in depth to the story. I only have a little teaser, and I'm really liking the art. I'm really liking the story. It's done in a very in jest, so there's nothing too serious about this story at all. Moving over from the True Cult issue number 1 over to Isagi Yojimbo issue number 30. This has been going on for, well, just short of 3 years. Sakai has been pretty consistent on releasing these books, and the stories, most of which kind of go back of the original storytelling. What's beautiful is these stories are slightly amended. The ongoing stories now with the new character are totally different, and it gives you a feel of yester, in the sense of yesteryear's storytelling and writing and art, but it's all new flavor with this new character. So where we're at now is our 2 travelers, Ronins, find a secret message inside of a jewelry case that was given to them by a person that was unfortunately killed on their passage to deliver this case. Now they're on a mission to go ahead and deliver that message. And as things unravel from there, we're seeing not only a cool bond between these 2 characters, but as we always do, some cool philosophy and some cool information that depending on who you are, can even relate to your life. And that's one of the main reasons why I really dig Usagi Yojimbo and why it's on my list for the most anticipated reads for tomorrow. Cruising over to heavy metal. Now, and I've been talking about this story for a little while. It's Entropy. Entropy issue number 1 has been on hold for a while. Excuse me for a moment. And I know it is theoretically coming out tomorrow. Now, this is a story by Christopher Priest, and it gives us a story of an individual named Henry Hanks. Now, Henry has had a pretty good life until the point that where he betrayed essentially an embodiment, a god of chaos. This individual's name is Keiko. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this living embodiment basically kills Henry and resurrects him as his new herald. We've kind of heard some of these stories before, but what's cool about this story is it's tropes and ideas that we've heard before, but kind of turned on their head. So I like this. I'm digging it. Yes, another reason why is because it has the same name as this channel. So Entropy number 1 is one of my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. And my most anticipated read for tomorrow and Blue Light Special, there we go, is, well, it's kind of 2. So kind of cheating here. These 2 most anticipated reads for tomorrow is 1, an all ages book called Kid Slapshot. Now, this is a book that I've also been anticipating for a while because of its, well, I like King Spot. I just don't buy much of the King Spot stuff. It's very kid oriented. I would say in somewhere in that realm, 5 to 11. Anything after that, you have to be a kid at heart. So it's pretty cool read. It's basically a story by Troy Dongera, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And like I said, it's an all ages story. Imagine an all ages Merc with a mouth style character that's obsessed with hockey. All right, so he's now the last kid on the planet of a planet of monsters. So him and his pal Dilsey, their quest is basically to travel and find a new place to live, and that is our story of Kid Slapshot. So I really anticipate this read, and as we get closer to Halloween, and I read stories like this, I like to then in turn give them out during Halloween. One of the things I like. And now another one of my most anticipated reads, again, of my Blue Light Special, is Barbaric. I'm digging Barbaric. Now, Barbaric is out of Vault Comics. Barbaric, Axe to Grind is the name of this series, with issue number 1 coming out tomorrow. It's a story of a cursed man that is forced to do the right thing. And when I mean cursed, he's cursed not only to live, but wield an axe that talks and forces him to do the right thing. So their journey together to do things is just brutal. It is barbaric by all its terminology and its definitions. But there are a lot of times there's little subtle hints of philosophy and little moral aspects that are integrated into the storyline. Now, one of the things I really also like is, as we all do in the case of life, we have to do things that we necessarily don't want to do. Our hero hates witches, and what we've seen in the past is he's been forced to actually work with witches. It's worked to his advantage, even though he hates it. So that is why Barbaric Axe to Grind from Vault, issue number 1, is my most anticipated read for tomorrow, 8/17/22. That's it for me, Entropy. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. You stay well, and see you soon.